Hey guys, this is Coop from GarageGymReviews.com, and if you see what I'm holding on my hand, this is the Hyperice HYPERVOLT. Now you've seen me review the Tim Tam in the past, you've seen me create my own DIY percussion massager, but this right here is my new Lambo. Now this right here is my new Hyperice HYPERVOLT, and I'm gonna review it for you. The Hyperice HYPERVOLT is Hyperice's second product within the percussion massager category. The first one is the Raptor, and it's like $3,000. This one is much cheaper, and in my opinion, much better because it's portable. Now what Hyperice did was they took the idea of, say, the Theragun or the Tim Tam, which I'll show you in a second, and made it quiet. That is the biggest feature on the HYPERVOLT. That's what separates this from every other percussion massager, is the noise. And I'll do a noise comparison here in a second. But without a doubt, in my opinion, this is the best percussion massager that's currently available. There's a couple companies that currently make these. One, and really the biggest in the market until now, is Theragun. And Theragun also had an offshoot, which was Tim Tam. And there's also a DIY version that you can make, and I'll put a link in the bio so you can check that out. So all the Theragun and Tim Tam is a jigsaw that's had the blade removed and then had a little plunger attached to it. This is really one of the only products within this price range that has been completely redesigned from the ground up in order to be a percussion massager. Now the Tim Tam, as you can see, is a jigsaw. I mean, that's pretty much what it's based upon, and then they add this attachment to the top. And you can add different attachments, but not in the way you can the Hyperice HYPERVOLT. So what really stinks about these is the noise. Okay, it's super loud. If you're doing that, it's not like you want to be watching TV while you're doing that. You don't want to do that in an open setting. Everybody's going to hear it. This, my friends, is the Hyperice HYPERVOLT. That's setting 1, setting 2, and setting 3. You can still hear me talking over it. You can't do that with this one. Now you'd be thinking the Hyperice HYPERVOLT is much more expensive than, say, its counterpart like the Tim Tam or the Theragun, but that's not true because the Tim Tam is actually $400 and the Theragun's like $650 or somewhere around there, while the HYPERVOLT is only $350 shipped to your door. It's not only the best price, but it's also one of the best one that's available. Now it uses a little bit different system than these ones. These are like a jigsaw. They pound a lot harder, what I noticed. This is much more, I don't know, it has much more vibration. It doesn't have as long of travel on the head, but I actually prefer it to this one, not just in the noise it makes, but also in its feeling. Now, the other ones have quite a few attachments, but you have to pay for them separately. The Hyperice HYPERVOLT has the attachments and they come with them. There's a little knob that you can dig deep into the pressure tissue. They also have a ball right here, a little fork, and then just a stopper that comes on standard. All you do is take them off, pull them, and then put them back in. This one you kind of have to screw off and then screw it back in. In order to change the battery on the HYPERVOLT, you press this button here and then pull off. This is the entire battery right here. This is the upper part. I think you can buy these separately on their website. I haven't seen them yet, but I'm sure you can. I haven't had any issues with battery. The battery on this should last just as long, if not longer, than what's on the Tim Tam or on the Theragun. And it's also easily replaceable and easily chargeable. You're in, you're ready to go. Now, one thing I really do like about the HYPERVOLT is that you don't have to press the trigger in order to use it. So you just turn on this button on the bottom, and then you click on the back, right next to the battery indicator, which is a great plus. And then it starts to go. This is setting 1, setting 2, and then setting 3. I'm a huge fan of the Hyperice HYPERVOLT. I highly suggest you get it if you're in the market for one of these. If you want something that's cheaper, you can check out my DIY version. You can make it for probably around $100, and it works well. I wouldn't say as good as this one, but for the price, this is your best option out there. This has been Coop from GarageGymReviews.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace.